The stars glowed in the night sky above the hidden complex deep beneath the restored forests of what was once called North America. Director Kim stood at the observation window, his weathered face reflected in the glass as he looked up at the stars. For over 30 years, he had led Earth's Silent Watch Council, the group tasked with keeping humanity's greatest secret. "Director, we have detected new movement in the outer system," said Ta, a young analyst who approached with a data tablet. "3 consortium ships have established a mining operation on Titan." Kim nodded slowly. The aliens were getting closer. For centuries, the various species that made up the Galactic Consortium had categorized Earth as a dormant world, a planet with intelligent life that had not yet reached the stars. They were wrong. "Show me the latest report," Kim said. Ta handed over the tablet. On the screen, strange angular ships hovered above Titan's orange surface. The aliens inside those ships believed Earth was home to a primitive species that had briefly visited their moon before turning inward, focused on tribal conflicts and basic survival. The consortium had assigned Earth the lowest possible threat rating, marking humans as barely worth monitoring. "They still have no idea," Kim said softly. Earth's true story was very different. In the 2100s, the planet had faced environmental collapse. Wars over the last resources had nearly ended humanity. But in their darkest hour, people had changed course. Instead of fighting over what remained, they had worked together to heal the planet. Instead of expanding outward to the stars, they had developed inward. Deep underground and beneath the oceans, humanity built vast cities connected by high-speed transport networks. On the surface, forests and wildlife returned as the human footprint shrank. The few visible settlements were carefully designed to appear simple and primitive when viewed from orbit. At the same time, Earth's scientists made breakthrough after breakthrough. They developed energy sources that drew power from higher dimensions. They created materials that could heal themselves. They designed computers that could process information faster than any other known civilization. And most importantly, they discovered how to listen to the stars. "Director, the council meeting begins in 5 minutes," Tai reminded him. Kim followed Ta through the gleaming corridors of the Watch Center. Unlike the false primitive structures on the surface, down here humanity's true advancement was visible. Walls shifted colors based on the emotions of people walking past. Doors opened before anyone reached them, sensing intentions rather than movements. The council chamber was a simple circle with 12 seats. The other 11 council members were already present when Kim arrived, some in person and others appearing as perfect holograms from facilities around the world. "We have a problem," Kim began. "The consortium has established operations on Titan. Their sensors will soon detect our quantum communications if we don't adjust our protocols." Director Jun, head of Science Division, spoke up. "We can shift frequencies again, but this is the 3rd time this year. Each shift requires more energy and becomes harder to hide. Perhaps it's time we stopped hiding," said Director Park, a tall woman who led the Defense Division. "Our simulations show we now possess technology at least 2 centuries beyond consortium standard." This was the debate that had been growing for years. Continue the silence that had protected Earth for centuries or reveal themselves to the galaxy. "The consortium is not the only concern," Kim reminded them. "Our monitoring stations have intercepted communications from the Voidclaw Empire. Their scouts have already entered our system twice." The room grew quiet. The Voidclaw were known for their aggressive expansion, taking resources from worlds they deemed undeveloped. To them, Earth would look like a perfect target. Director Song, the youngest council member, pulled up a holographic display in the center of the room. It showed Earth from orbit, green forests, blue oceans, and small, scattered settlements that appeared to be using simple technology. "Our camouflage remains effective," Song said. "Surface sensors show the consortium observation satellites still categorize us as pre-spacefaring." Kim nodded. "But for how much longer can we maintain this deception? The mining operations on Titan will bring more ships, more sensors. Earth's strategy had always been to watch and learn. For centuries, hidden receivers captured alien transmissions. Teams of linguists decoded their languages. Engineers studied their technology. Earth learned the politics, the weaknesses, and the strengths of each species without ever revealing themselves. "I have something to show you," Director Park said. She gestured, and the hologram changed to show a vast fleet of ships hidden in an underground hangar. "Defense has completed our protective fleet. If we need to reveal ourselves, we can do so from a position of strength." The ships were unlike any in the consortium. Where alien vessels were angular and obvious, Earth's ships blended with the darkness of space. They used technology that bent light around them, making them nearly invisible. "If we stay silent much longer," Park continued, "we risk being discovered before we're ready. If we speak now, we control how and when the galaxy learns about us." Kim looked at each council member's face. The decision before them would change humanity's path forever. After centuries of silence, should Earth finally speak? "We need more information before we decide," Kim finally said. "Increase monitoring of consortium activities in the outer system. Prepare defense systems throughout the solar system, but keep them dormant for now." As the meeting ended, Kim returned to the observation window. Somewhere up there, alien ships moved through the darkness, unaware that the silent planet they dismissed held a civilization that might soon change the galaxy forever. The choice between continued silence and first contact loomed. Either way, when Earth finally spoke, the galaxy would tremble. The ocean depths off the coast of what was once Japan glowed with soft blue light. A massive underwater research facility stretched across the ocean floor, hidden from satellites by advanced cloaking technology. Inside, Dr. Huan watched a small container where a swirling blue microorganism multiplied rapidly. "The K-12 strain is responding well to the new growth medium," he said to his assistant. "At this rate, we'll have enough to begin the next phase of medical trials within days." The K-12 microorganism was perhaps Earth's most valuable discovery. It could repair damaged human cells and might someday extend human lifespans by decades. More importantly, it was found only in Earth's deepest ocean trenches. A sudden alarm blared through the facility. Red lights flashed in the corridors. "Surface breach detected," announced the facility's eye. "Unknown vessel has entered waters directly above us." Dr. Huan looked up in alarm. No ships were scheduled in this area. He activated the main viewing screen to see a sleek craft unlike any human vessel lowering a probe into the water. The design was unmistakable. Consortium technology. "They're scanning for biological signatures," his assistant said, checking the readings. "The probe is headed straight for the K-12 collection site." Juan immediately sent an emergency alert to Earth's defense network. Within minutes, a secure communication channel opened, showing Diplomat Jia's concerned face. "We see it, doctored," she said. "Stay hidden. A response team is on the way." Jia ended the call and turned to face her grandmother, Director Park, who had just entered the emergency command center beneath Seoul. "This is no accident," Director Park said, studying the images of the alien vessel. "That's a consortium bioharvester. They're specifically looking for the K-12. Jia, at 32 years old, was one of Earth's most talented xenolinguists and had spent years analyzing consortium communications. Unlike most humans who lived their entire lives in the hidden underground cities, Jia had been trained to potentially interact with aliens if the need ever arose. "How could they know about K-12? She asked. "We've kept all our biotechnology shielded from their sensors." Director Park's face darkened. "Someone has been feeding them information. We need to find out who." Above the ocean, the consortium ship continued its work, unaware it was being closely watched. The probe penetrated deeper, approaching the natural habitat of the K-12 microorganism. "They can't be allowed to take those samples," Director Park said. "If they analyze K-12, they'll realize its potential immediately. Worse, they'll know someone has already been modifying it, and that would reveal our true technological level." Jia looked at her grandmother. What are our options? We can destroy the probe with a targeted pulse that would look like a natural electrical discharge from deep-sea creatures. But that's only a temporary solution. They'll be back. The decision was made quickly. A silent signal was sent, and deep beneath the waves, a carefully disguised defense system activated. A pulse of energy shot upward, disabling the probe without revealing its true source. On their monitors, they watched as the consortium ship retreated. Its mission unexpectedly failed. That buys us time, Director Park said, but not much. 2 days later, Jia sat in her private office reviewing encrypted consortium transmissions. Her job was to monitor alien communications for any mentions of Earth. What she found made her blood run cold. Grandmother, you need to see this, she said over a secure channel. I've decoded a message from the Consortium Uplift Committee. Director Park arrived within the hour. Jia displayed the translated message on her screen. Species 3427, Earth humans. Evaluation complete. Primitive technology level confirmed. Genetic potential high but evolutionary path inefficient. Recommendation: immediate uplift procedure with guided evolution. Resource potential too valuable to allow natural development. Schedule for implementation: 30 galactic cycles. They're planning to uplift us, Jia said, her voice tight with anger. They think we're primitive and plan to force genetic modifications on our population. Director Park read through the document again. This is worse than we thought. The consortium believes they're helping undeveloped species by accelerating their evolution. In reality, it creates dependent civilizations that serve consortium interests. There's more, Jia said. I've intercepted communications about the Voidclaw Empire breaking away from the consortium. They've rejected the policy of uplifting worlds and instead plan to simply harvest resources from undeveloped planets. She pulled up another transmission showing a map of targeted systems. Earth's solar system was clearly marked. They're coming here, Jia said quietly. Both of them. The consortium to uplift us, and the Voidclaw to strip mine our system. For generations, Earth had watched the stars in silence, learning and preparing. Now that strategy had reached its breaking point. We need to call an emergency council meeting, Director Park said. Hours later, all 12 council members gathered. The evidence Jia had uncovered was presented, along with defense assessments and possible responses. We have 3 options, Director Kim said. Continue hiding and hope our camouflage holds. Reveal ourselves to the consortium and seek protection against the Voidclaw. Or declare our presence to the galaxy on our own terms, demonstrating our true capabilities. Jia stepped forward. The consortium's uplift program is mandatory once a species is selected. If we reveal ourselves only to them, they'll still try to control us, just through different means. And the Voidclaw are already sending scout ships to our outer system. What do you recommend? Asked Director Kim. We reveal ourselves, but carefully, on our terms. We've spent centuries preparing for this moment. The debate lasted for hours. In the end, a vote was taken. The decision is made, Director Kim announced. Earth will speak to the stars. Diplomat Jia will lead our first contact team. As the meeting ended, Jia stood by a window looking up at the night sky. Somewhere up there, ships were already moving toward Earth, unaware that the silent planet they sought to conquer or help had been watching them for centuries, and was now ready to respond. The time for silence was over. Earth would speak, and the galaxy would indeed tremble. The consortium science vessel, Seeker of Knowledge, drifted through the darkness near Jupiter. Captain Zelmar was puzzled. For the 3rd time this cycle, his communication systems had experienced strange interruptions. Messages to Central Command arrived corrupted or not at all. Run another diagnostic, he ordered his communications officer. I have, Captain. There's nothing wrong with our systems. Zelmar clicked his mandibles in frustration. Something strange was happening across the system. Other consortium ships reported similar issues. Some had even experienced weapons system failures during routine testing. On the bridge of the Voidclaw battlecruiser Inevitable Conquest, Commander Drax glared at the navigation display. His ship had been sent to scout the resource-rich planet the locals called Earth. But something was wrong. Navigator, why are we approaching Saturn? Our course was set for the third planet. The navigator's 6 eyes blinked rapidly in confusion. The course is correct, Commander, but our position is impossible. Somehow, they had been moved hundreds of thousands of kilometers off course in an instant. It was as if space itself had bent around them. Deep beneath the surface of Earth, in the Global Command Center, Jia watched these events unfold on massive screens. Beside her, a team of operators quietly executed humanity's carefully planned revelation. Phase 1 complete, reported the lead technician. All consortium communications in our system are now under our control. Voidclaw advance vessels have been redirected through quantum gates. Jia nodded. Earth had spent decades developing technology that could bend space-time itself, creating what they called quantum gates, invisible doorways that could instantly move objects across vast distances. Now they were using this technology to confuse and redirect potential threats without firing a single shot. Begin Phase 2, Jia ordered. Across the solar system, strange things began to happen. In orbit around every planet, space seemed to ripple and tear open. From these dimensional pockets emerged sleek platforms that had been hidden in folded space, invisible to all sensors until this moment. Each platform was a marvel of engineering, powered by zero-point energy and equipped with technology that the consortium would consider impossible. On the Seeker of Knowledge, Captain Zelmar stared in disbelief at his sensor readings. Something is appearing in orbit around every planet in this system, he said, and something is happening to our transmission systems. Without warning, every communication device on every consortium and Voidclaw ship began broadcasting the same signal. Even more astonishingly, reports were coming in that the same thing was happening on every consortium world across the galaxy. In the command center, Jia took a deep breath. Her team had activated the quantum-entangled communication network that humanity had secretly installed throughout the galaxy over the past century. Tiny, undetectable devices that had been carefully placed on consortium worlds were now creating holographic projections visible to all. Ready for transmission, said the communications director. Jia stepped onto a small platform. Cameras surrounded her, but she knew her image would appear as much more than a simple video. Through the miracle of quantum entanglement, a perfect holographic projection of her would appear simultaneously on thousands of worlds across the galaxy. Beginning galaxy-wide transmission in 3, 2, 1. Across the stars, beings of all species stopped and stared as holographic images appeared in their skies, their public squares, their government chambers. The image showed a human woman, standing tall and dignified. People of the galaxy, Jia began, her voice calm and clear. I am Ambassador Jia of Earth, speaking on behalf of humanity. Today, we end our long silence. On the consortium capital world, the High Council froze in shock as the hologram appeared in the center of their chamber. For centuries, Jia continued, Earth has been classified as a dormant world in your records. You have watched us from afar, believing us to be primitive, limited to our planet, worthy of either uplift or exploitation. In the command centers of Voidclaw warships, commanders watched with growing unease. You were wrong, Jia said. Humanity chose a different path. After nearly destroying ourselves and our planet, we turned inward rather than outward. We healed our world. We developed in harmony with nature. And in doing so, we discovered technologies and understandings that you have not yet achieved. Images began to appear alongside Jia. Earth's restored forests and oceans, the hidden underground cities, the quantum gate technology, energy systems that drew power from higher dimensions. We have monitored your communications for generations. We know your languages, your technologies, your strengths, and your weaknesses. We have chosen to remain silent until now. On the Seeker of Knowledge, Captain Zelmar watched in astonishment as his ship's systems came under outside control. Displays showed Earth vessels emerging from hiding all around them, ships with technology unlike anything in the Consortium database. "Today, we speak because we must," Gia continued. "We have intercepted plans from both the Consortium and the Voidclaw Empire regarding Earth. To the Consortium, we say, we reject your uplift program. Humanity will not be guided or controlled. To the Voidclaw, we say, Earth and the Sol system are not available for harvest. Any hostile action will be met with immediate response." To demonstrate this point, a Voidclaw battlecruiser that had ignored redirecting and pressed toward Earth suddenly found itself surrounded by Earth vessels that seemed to appear from nowhere. Before the commander could react, his ship's weapons and propulsion systems went dark. "We do not seek conflict," Gia said, her voice now reaching every corner of known space. "Earth wishes to join the galactic community as equals, not as subjects or resources. We offer friendship to those who extend the same. We offer our knowledge to those who would use it wisely." Images now showed Earth's advancements in medicine, environmental restoration, and sustainable development. Achievements that had come from working with nature rather than conquering it. For too long, the galaxy has followed a path of expansion and consumption. Earth offers a different way. We have learned that true advancement comes not from dominating our world, but from living in balance with it. Not from consuming resources, but from regenerating them. Across the galaxy, billions of beings watched and listened. Some with hope, others with fear, many with disbelief. Earth now declares its sovereignty and its presence among the stars. We extend an open hand to all who wish to learn from each other. But make no mistake. Here Jia's voice grew firm. We will defend our world and our ways. As her message concluded, the holographic projections faded, but Earth's platforms remained visible around every planet in the solar system, and Earth ships continued to patrol, a clear reminder of the previously hidden power that had just revealed itself. In the silent aftermath, the galaxy held its breath, wondering what would come next now that the silent Earth had finally spoken. 3 days after Earth's revelation, the Consortium High Council chamber was in chaos. Representatives from 200 species shouted over each other, while the High Chancellor struggled to maintain order. Silence. The Chancellor's amplified voice finally cut through the noise. "We will address this crisis in an orderly manner." On one side of the chamber sat Ambassador Zoril of the Pelrasi, a species known for their diplomatic skills. "The humans have shown no aggression," he said calmly. "They revealed themselves only after learning of plans against their world. We should extend official recognition and open diplomatic relations." "Recognize them," sputtered Representative Dorn of the Vexeri Trading Guild. "They have been spying on us for centuries. They have placed unauthorized technology on our worlds. This is an act of war." Across the galaxy, similar debates rage. On 17 worlds, young protesters gathered in streets and plazas, carrying signs with Earth symbols and chanting about harmony and balance. On 34 others, frightened citizens demanded protection from the mysterious humans who had revealed technology that shouldn't be possible according to Consortium science. On Earth, Gia sat in a newly created diplomatic chamber, speaking with the representatives of 12 species who had immediately reached out for alliance. "The Meridian Collective is impressed by your environmental restoration techniques," said a floating blue sphere that contained the merged consciousness of several aquatic beings. "Our homeworld suffers from similar damage. We offer friendship and exchange of knowledge." Gia smiled. "Earth would be honored to share our restoration methods. We have centuries of experience healing damaged ecosystems." Her assistant entered with an urgent message. "Ambassador, Voidclaw fleet movements detected. 27 warships have entered the outer system." Gia's expression grew serious. "Please excuse me," she told the alien representatives. "It seems not everyone appreciates our invitation to peaceful dialogue." In deep space near Neptune, Voidclaw Supreme Commander Krex stood on the bridge of his flagship, Inevitable Victory. His yellow eyes narrowed as he studied tactical displays showing Earth's defensive platforms. Their technology is impressive, he admitted, but no civilization can defend an entire system. Find the weak points. His tactical officer looked nervous. Sir, we've analyzed their defenses. There are no weak points we can detect. Krex slammed his clawed hand down. Impossible. Begin the attack. Target the platforms first, then advance toward the inner system. Earth will learn why the Voidclaw Empire is feared across the galaxy. The Voidclaw fleet opened fire, energy weapons and missiles streaking toward Earth's defensive platforms. But something strange happened. The energy beams curved away from their targets, somehow bent back into space. The missiles simply disappeared. What is happening? Krex demanded. On Earth, in the Defense Command Center, Director Park watched calmly as Earth's quantum field defenses redirected the Voidclaw attack through microscopic wormholes, sending the energy and weapons harmlessly into empty space. They're persistent, she commented as the Voidclaw ships launched a second wave of attacks. Activate Phase 2 defenses. Across the solar system, Earth's platforms emitted an invisible wave that spread outward. When it reached the Voidclaw fleet, every ship suddenly lost power. Weapons, engines, life support, everything except basic emergency systems shut down. Krex stared in disbelief as his mighty warship drifted helplessly. How? Our power cores are self-contained. This is impossible. A holographic projection of Gia appeared on his bridge. Commander Krex, your attack has failed. Your ships have been disabled, but your life support remains functional. We have no desire to harm your crews. What have you done to our ships? Krex demanded. We've temporarily suspended the quantum interactions that allow your power cores to function. Gia explained simply. Your ships will be towed to the edge of our system and released. Return with peaceful intentions, or do not return at all. As news of the Voidclaw defeat spread, the galaxy's reaction intensified. The Voidclaw Empire, previously feared across multiple sectors, had been neutralized without Earth firing a single shot. The footage, captured by neutral observer ships and broadcast across Consortium space, caused even more upheaval. On the Consortium agricultural world Fertilia, young Pax watched the news with her friends in their university dormitory. As a botanical student, she had always questioned the Consortium's resource extraction methods. Look at what these humans have accomplished, she said excitedly, pointing to images of Earth's restored forests and oceans. They've developed advanced technology, while healing their planet instead of exploiting it. Her professor, entering the room, scoffed. Naive propaganda. Advanced civilization requires resource consumption. Their approach is unsustainable. But what if it's not? Challenged Pax. What if everything we've been taught about development is wrong? Similar conversations were happening in schools, homes, and gathering places across thousands of worlds. Earth's model presented an alternative to the Consortium's millennia-old approach of expansion and consumption. In the Consortium's Economic Council, emergency meetings were called. Director Vel of Resource Allocation looked grim as he addressed his colleagues. The humans' philosophy is spreading dangerously fast. 17 worlds have already requested permission to implement Earth-inspired environmental restoration programs. That would reduce production quotas by an estimated 23%, noted another director. Unacceptable. Yet we cannot simply dismiss them, said Director Vel. Their technology is clearly superior to ours. We must learn their secrets. On Earth, Gia met with the Human Council to discuss the galaxy's reaction. The Voidclaw defeat has gained us respect, but also fear, she reported. Meanwhile, our environmental approaches are causing significant debate within the Consortium. Their economic model depends on continuous resource extraction. Our methods threaten that foundation. Director Kim smiled slightly. So our true power is not just our technology, but our ideas. The younger generations are particularly responsive, Gia continued. There are already student movements on dozens of worlds demanding changes based on Earth's example. "And the consortium leadership?" asked Director Park. "Divided and concerned. Their entire power structure is built on the belief that their development path is the only possible one. We've shown there's another way." A week later, on the consortium capital, a special session of the High Council was called. The vote was narrow, but historic. Earth would be officially recognized, and a diplomatic delegation would be sent to open formal relations. Ambassador Zorel, who had argued in Earth's favor, met with Gia privately after the vote. "You should know," he said quietly, "there are powerful interests that still fear what Earth represents. They will not attack you directly after the Voidclaw failure, but they will work to undermine your influence." Gia nodded. "We expected as much. Change never comes easily." "What I don't understand," Zorel continued, "is why you revealed yourselves now. You could have remained hidden, safe." Gia's expression grew serious. "Because the galaxy is at a turning point. Continue on its current path, and it faces the same environmental collapse Earth once did, but on a scale too vast to recover from. We didn't reveal ourselves to gain power. We did it because the galaxy needs a different way forward." As their conversation ended, reports came in of new protests on 30 more worlds, with young people demanding their governments adopt Earth's harmonious approach to development. The tremors from Earth's awakening continued to spread, reshaping the galaxy one world at a time. The Great Hall of the newly constructed Stellar Concordance headquarters floated in orbit around Earth, its transparent walls offering views of the blue planet below. 6 months had passed since humanity had revealed itself to the galaxy, and today marked the official founding of a new interspecies alliance. Ambassador Gia stood at the center of the circular chamber, surrounded by representatives from 73 worlds. Some appeared in person, while others attended as perfect holographic projections. The diversity was stunning. Beings of all shapes, sizes, and evolutionary paths gathered together. "Today we begin a new chapter in galactic history," Gia said, her voice calm but carrying the weight of the moment. "The Stellar Concordance is not built on dominance or resource extraction, but on mutual respect and sustainable development." From his seat among the Earth delegation, Director Kim watched with quiet pride. The past 6 months had been challenging, filled with diplomatic tensions, threats, and difficult negotiations, but they had also seen incredible progress. After the failed Voidclaw attack, 17 more worlds had immediately requested alliance with Earth. These were mostly younger civilizations, or those who had long chafed under consortium resource demands. Within weeks, that number had grown to 43, then 68. "The first act of the Concordance," Gia continued, "will be to establish open knowledge exchange. Earth will share its environmental restoration techniques with all member worlds. In return, each world will contribute their unique knowledge to our shared database." Representative Mira of the Forest World Verdant nodded enthusiastically. Her people had already begun implementing Earth-inspired restoration methods, healing damage from centuries of consortium mining operations. "Second," Gia said, "we established the principle that technological advancement and environmental harmony are not opposing forces, but complementary ones. The path forward lies not in consuming our worlds, but in working with them." In the back of the chamber, several consortium observers shifted uncomfortably. The old power was not gone, but it had been forced to change. After 3 months of internal struggle and widespread protests on hundreds of member worlds, the consortium had undergone its most significant reform in 2,000 years. The High Chancellor of the reformed consortium, newly elected after the previous leadership was removed, approached the center of the chamber at Jia's invitation. "The consortium recognizes the Stellar Concordance as an equal partner in galactic affairs," he announced formally. "We acknowledge that our previous approach to development was unsustainable. We have much to learn from Earth and its allies." This statement would have been unthinkable 6 months ago, but the rapid spread of Earth's philosophy, combined with humanity's clearly superior technology, had forced the once dominant power to adapt or face collapse. After the ceremony, Jia met with her closest advisors in a private chamber. The formal diplomatic face gave way to a tired smile. "We've come far," she said, "but there's still much to do." "The Void Claw remain a concern," noted her security advisor. "They've retreated to their core systems, but intelligence suggests they're rebuilding their fleet with new shielding designed to resist our quantum field technology." Jia nodded. "Peace is never guaranteed, but we've shown the galaxy a better path. Each day, more worlds choose to follow it." On the consortium agricultural world Fertilia, young Pax walked through a field that just months ago had been depleted by intensive farming practices. Now, using Earth-developed soil restoration techniques, new growth was already emerging. "The results are remarkable," said her professor, the same one who had dismissed Earth's approach as propaganda. "The soil nutrient levels have tripled, and biodiversity has increased by 47%. "And production?" Pax asked, knowing this would still be the professor's main concern. "Down initially, as expected, but projected to exceed previous levels within 2 growing seasons." The professor looked thoughtful. "I've had to reconsider many of my assumptions. Across the galaxy, similar transformations were underway. On industrial worlds, new production methods based on Earth's circular resource systems were replacing wasteful practices. On urban planets, green spaces were being created using Earth's vertical biosphere technology. Meanwhile, Earth itself was changing too. After centuries of isolation, humans were venturing beyond their solar system for the first time. Scientific exchange teams traveled to allied worlds, while Earth welcomed visitors from across the galaxy. In orbit around Jupiter, the first interspecies research station had been established. Scientists from 12 worlds worked alongside humans, studying the gas giants' complex weather systems and the unique life forms discovered in Europa's subsurface ocean. Director Park visited the station, watching as human researchers collaborated with beings who, until recently, had never known humans existed. "Do you ever regret revealing ourselves?" asked a young scientist. "Life was simpler when we were hidden." "Simpler, yes," Director Park replied. "But we had reached the limits of what we could achieve alone. True growth requires connection, exchange, challenge." Not everyone embraced the new order. On some consortium worlds, conservative factions resisted change, clinging to old ways and warning of Earth's dangerous influence. The Voidclaw Empire remained hostile, nursing its wounded pride and planning for future confrontation. But these voices were increasingly marginalized as the benefits of Earth's approach became clear. Worlds that adopted sustainable development practices saw remarkable improvements in quality of life. Species that had been on the brink of environmental collapse found new hope. 6 months after Earth had spoken, the galaxy had found a new equilibrium. Not perfect, not without tension, but fundamentally changed. The Stellar Concordance headquarters became a symbol of this new path. Built using Earth's dimensional engineering, it required no fuel or external power. Instead, it drew energy from the quantum fabric of space itself, while creating zero waste. Its design incorporated living systems that purified air and water while producing food for its occupants. As the founding ceremony concluded, representatives from across the galaxy mingled, sharing stories and building connections that would have been impossible before Earth's emergence. Jia found a quiet moment to stand by the great observation window, looking down at Earth, the blue planet that had kept its secrets for so long. "Was it worth it?" Director Kim asked, joining her. "Look at what we've achieved," Jia replied, gesturing to the diverse gathering behind them. 6 months ago, the galaxy was on a path to eventual collapse. Now, there's hope, and yet challenges remain. Jia nodded. "Always, but we've proven something important. That true advancement comes not from domination, but from harmony. Not from consumption, but from regeneration." Below them, Earth continued its silent rotation, appearing peaceful from orbit, but both knew it was not silent anymore. Earth had spoken, and its voice had changed the galaxy forever. As ships departed the concordance ceremony, carrying representatives back to their homeworlds, They carried with them not just diplomatic agreements, but a fundamental shift in perspective, a new understanding that would continue to spread from world to world, reshaping the very foundation of galactic civilization. The silent Earth had found its voice, and the tremors of that voice would echo across the cosmos for generations to come. The end.